Our scripture this morning comes from Philippians, first chapter, verses 3 through 11. I thank my God every time I remember you, constantly praying with joy in every one of my prayers for all of you, because of your sharing in the gospel from the first day until now. I am confident of this, that the one who began a good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Jesus Christ. It is right for me to think this way about all of you because you hold me in your heart. For all of you share in God's grace with me, both in my imprisonment and in the defense and confirmation of the gospel. For God is my witness, how I long for all of you with the compassion of Jesus Christ. And this is my prayer, that your love may overflow more and more with knowledge and full insight to help you determine what is best, so that on the day of Christ you may be pure and blameless, having produced the harvest of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ for the glory and praise of God. Today we turn ourselves towards the often difficult task of remembering those in our fellowship who have died this past year. In remembering them, we face our pain and our loss. However, at the same time, we also give thanks for their lives, and we celebrate the gifts that they brought to us. And of course, remembering them also leads us all, each and every one of us, down paths of remembering others close to us who have died, whether recently or decades ago. You know, my mom was one of those full of life people, passionate and intelligent, flat out funny, and a boat rocker, a yeller and a crier, also steady and true. One of the most poignant moments of my adolescence, maybe of my entire life, came at my mother's memorial service. My mom died when I was 16 after a lengthy battle with cancer. I remember during that service, my brother, who would have been 11 at the time, stood up and he played "When the Saints Go Marching In" on his trumpet. There was not a dry eye in the place. But I'd like to think that those tears were more than just expressions of grief. I'd like to think it was a moment where those who gathered realized that even on that day when heartache was so raw and so pure and so real, I'd like to think that those tears were the gathered realization that there were bright tomorrows yet to come. Which, of course, is always the tightrope that we walk when we grieve. Our lungs catch as we breathe in grief. Then they relax as we breathe out gratitude. In the scripture for today, it began with joyous remembering. The situation, though, was far from joyful. Paul was in jail with a death sentence hanging over his head. Yet somehow he finds gratitude. He finds gratitude in the witness of those who are in Philippi, who are living the good news, carrying on the work that he helped start. The simple act of remembering brings him joy, even as he is in prison with a dreadfully uncertain future. Talk about a tightrope of feeling. Life, death, remembering. Hand in hand in hand. Even apart, their bonds of faith and love kept them close. That's what remembering is all about. I like to think of it this way. By definition, to be a member of something is to be one part of something larger, a part of a whole. When we remember those who have gone before us, they become part of us once again, as if they ever left. When we remember, we bring them back. In this letter, Paul recollected the times with his dear ones, and he remembered them. And as he did that, it gave him great strength and courage to live in that jail cell. So we too do the same. We intentionally remember the lives of those who we have loved, who have died. We take what they have taught us when we remember, and we solidify it. Our shared experiences and love are as if you take pieces and put them back together into the current and present time. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference to us. It makes a difference to our community. And we have no idea what those differences might be as they ripple out. They live on in a very real way. And who knows? Who knows how they might be remembering us in whatever sphere of reality in which they find themselves. In remembering, we can be comforted, inspired, healed, all of these and more, just by recollecting the legacies of love and action. And the past and the present and the future, they all come together. And thanks be to God. As a community of life and love, we would like to do some remembering. We would like to remember Miriam O'Donnell, who always opened her house to whoever came by. Miriam, who lived simply and then showed her love by giving very generously to this congregation and many, many other groups. Her example is inspirational. We remember Bob Hershey. He had a knack for making friends wherever he went. And boy, did he go a lot of places. A quick handshake and an even quicker wit, he endeared himself to many. He was a family man. He was a man of faith. He inspired many people in his many communities. We remember Belinda Good. Can't you just see her smiling right now? Come on, guys, brighten up. I miss you. I remember you. We'll always be together. And we can feel that warm, tight hug around us, that Belinda patented hug. And we can see her cheerful smile and the twinkle in her eye. We remember. We remember Alan Good. We remember his quiet and friendly confidence that seemed to create spaces that made our lives and our relationships even stronger. He inspired us many times without even saying a word. An expert builder, he built much more in the family that he was so proud of. We remember Wayne Miller. We remember him as a teacher, as a pastor, as a chaplain, a mentor, a college and seminary president, a builder in vision, a worker of wood. But most of all, we remember him as a faithful husband and a loving father and grandfather, a disciple of Jesus, child of God. We remember Alan Michael Moyer, nephew to Shirley Byerly, a loyal friend and son. He is remembered for his sense of humor, his refreshing directness, his ethic of hard work, his delight in God's creation, and his love of all things sports. We do ourselves a favor and we do justice when we remember well. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now part of us as we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. That from the Rabbi's Manual. As we remember them, we would like to do the ritual that we do each year when we invite a representative or representatives from families to come forward. As the name of your loved one is read, those of you representing the family are invited forward, where Pastor Josh will give you a flower and a card as a special reminder of this day. When you receive that flower and card, you may return to your seats. We remember Miriam O'Donnell. We remember Robert Hershey. We remember Belinda Good. We remember Alan Good. We remember Wayne Miller. We remember Alan Michael Moyer.